welcome. This is your quiet moment, a time to release the weight of the day and to prepare your body and mind for rest. Find a position that feels comfortable. Let your shoulders soften, let your breathing fall into a gentle rhythm, and allow yourself to simply be here. Each breath brings calm, each exhale carries away tension, and with every moment, you are closer to peaceful sleep. If these stories bring you comfort, and you wish to return each night for new ones, I invite you to subscribe, so there will always be a calm voice waiting to guide you back to rest. Now, close your eyes, let go of the day, and allow this story to carry you gently into sleep. The mountain waits, not with urgency, not with force, but with a patience so deep that time itself seems slower here. At its base, the forest gathers in silence, 1,000 dark pines rising toward the night sky. Their crowns sway gently, their trunks stand straight, each one a witness to centuries of wind and snow. The trail begins where the trees open, a narrow space, an invitation carved by countless footsteps before yours. Roots curl across the earth like patient hands. Moss clings in soft carpets, holding the memory of rain. The air is different here, cooler, cleaner, filled with a brightness that belongs only to places untouched. Behind you, twilight has fallen. The horizon still glows faintly, a last ember fading into indigo. Ahead, the moon has risen. Its silver edge spills across the ground, finding every stone, every branch, every curve of the path. Above, stars appear one by one, timid at first, then steady, then endless. You pause. The silence is immense, but not empty. It is textured, layered, alive. The hush of needles underfoot, the faint rustle of unseen wings overhead, the low murmur of water slipping between rocks, too distant to see, yet close enough to hear. The quiet here does not erase sound. It protects it. It wraps each noise carefully, slows it, folds it into the dark so it will not be lost. You place your hand on the bark of a nearby pine. It is rough, cool, streaked with resin. The tree does not stir, yet you sense its patience, its endurance. How many storms has it endured? How many winters heavy with snow? Still it stands, still it breathes, still it welcomes you. The path bends upward into shadow. Its end is hidden, but you do not need to see it. The mountain does not reveal everything at once. It offers only what is needed. One step, then another, then another. You breathe again. The air tastes of stone and pine, touched by damp earth. Each inhale eases something tight within you. Each exhale leaves a little more weight behind. The trail waits. The forest waits. The mountain waits. And so you begin. With steady steps. With quiet breath. With the night gathering close around you. The trail begins gently. Needles soften the ground. Damp soil holds the last pool of twilight, and every step settles without echo. The trees draw close like quiet companions. Trunks rise straight and dark, bark ridged with age, resin breathing a faint sweetness into the air. Overhead, a roof of branches knits the sky into narrow ribbons. Through those ribbons, the moon finds you, laying its pale touch on your shoulders, on the path, on the small, bright stones that look as if someone scattered fragments of glass and then forgot them. You pause, not to measure distance, but to feel how the mountain accepts your weight. There is no pushback here, no rush, only a sense that the ground has been waiting, stone remembering footfalls, soil remembering rain. roots remembering the slow strength that brought them this far. You move again, and the forest gathers around your motion like water around a gentle oar. A brook speaks somewhere ahead, not with noise, but with patience. First, a thread of sound, like silk slipping across silk. Then, a clearer tumble as the water turns a corner you cannot see. The path lifts, bends, hides, and opens. Never straight, never abrupt, but always certain. You follow its persuasion the way one follows a melody in another room. Moonlight drifts in wider sheets as the slope grows steeper. The ground shifts from soil to rock, slabs cool and damp, patterned with mica and thin seams of quartz. Your palm slides across a ledge for balance. Its surface is smoother than you expect, worn by the weather and by whatever creatures have traveled here when the forest is empty of people. Moss crowds the darker pockets, soft, springing back after your touch, carrying the scent of rain that fell days ago and never hurried to leave. You reach a break in the trees. The sky arrives all at once. Stars sharpen into countless points, each one steady, each one older than any story you have heard. The moon sits to your left, not full, not thin, merely enough to gild the world. You stand in the middle of a silver hush, and for a long moment you do nothing except breathe. The air slides in cool and clean, unburdened by heat or dust. It moves out warmer, as if you were a small hearth set in the open night. Back under the canopy, the brook appears, a narrow ribbon dropping over black stones, falling into a shallow bowl, stepping down again in white curtains no wider than your hand. You crouch, dip your fingers, and the cold shocks you in a friendly way, an alertness without alarm. You drink. The taste is simple. Stone, leaf, night. It leaves nothing behind except clarity. You walk on. The rise is steadier now. Roots cross the path like sleeping serpents. You measure your stride to meet them kindly. Here, a fern leans from a seam of earth. There a tuft of grass glows like a little constellation under the moon. The forest is not still exactly. It merely moves at a speed that invites your nerves to slow, until you can notice the smaller things, the quiet turn of a twig in a breeze, the soft crack from a cone releasing seed, the faint sound of a wing folding and unfolding somewhere above. A boulder keeps watch beside the bend. Lichen has written its patient script across the face, circles and islands of pale green, frost blue, ash white. When you lay your hand there, the stone is the temperature of promise, neither warm nor bitter, simply steady. In its steadiness you feel the mountain style. No rehearsal, no performance, just the thing itself doing what it has always done. Hold. The path narrows where two trunks grew toward each other and then decided to stop short, leaving a doorway of wood. You pass through and the scent changes, pine giving way to the faint bite of crushed fern. The ground here is springier. Your steps make a sound like pages turning. You imagine the mountain reading as you go. There is a clearing to the right, almost round, grass low, the center slightly higher than the rim, an old ant hill gone to meadow. The moon pools in that bowl of quiet, and moths drift through the light like loose petals. You sit on your heels. Your breath evens. The brook, a little farther off now, keeps a time without asking attention. You give it anyway. When you stand again, the slope leans a little more. The path grows ribbed with ledges, shallow steps formed by frost and patience. You place your feet deliberately, not to conquer, not to prove, only to cooperate. The night approves with silence. You move into it as into a room that has been kept tidy for you. Lamps low, windows ajar, blankets folded. The forest thins. The air cools another shade. The soundscape rearranges. Fewer leaves, more space. The brook now distant. The wind more honest in your ears. You taste stone in the airflow, a mineral brightness like cold metal rinsed clean. Your arms know where to go without thinking. Hands brushing a rock, palm to a trunk, fingertips grazing the edge of a root to feel its intention before trusting your weight. A cairn rises where the trail forks. 3 stones, then 2 smaller, then 1 flat. No instruction carved, no arrow. Yet the tilt of the top piece points slightly left, and the ground there looks more persuaded by footsteps. You follow that suggestion. A branch scratches your sleeve and then apologizes in the language of resin. Now the moon comes between the trees in long windows. Your shadow walks with you, patient and narrow. A second traveler who carries nothing and never falls behind. In one window, you notice distant ridgelines, dark waves stacked against the sky. Between those waves, valleys hold a deep, slow darkness that looks like sleep. You think of houses curled into those folds, people under roofs, lamps changed to coals, kettles cooling by the sink. The mountain holds them, too. The trail crosses a seam of exposed rock, slick with seepage. You test it with the edge of your boot, find purchase in the roughness nobody sees until they need it. A small leaf floats across the wet face, spins, stops. The world is a series of tiny rests. You begin to keep them. A scent arrives you did not expect. Wild thyme crushed somewhere unseen, joined by mint that must live in a crack that holds more water than sun. The perfume is gentle but exact, a reminder that edges of comfort appear in impossible places and require very little to flourish. Your mouth fills quietly. You are not hungry, but you are more alive. The brook returns beneath the path, an underground voice surfacing through a grate of stone. For a breath, it sounds like laughter. Not because it is amused, because it is unafraid. You adopt its lesson. Your shoulders settle a span lower. The skin around your eyes loosens. Even the thought of distance becomes friendly, something wide enough to hold you without squeezing. Another clearing, smaller, a single spruce in the middle, like a needle drawn upright from green cloth. Its lower branches are gray with age, its upper ones sharp and new. You stand under it and feel the slight drip where the tree has combed mist from the air. The droplets cool your cheek and leave a trail no one else will see. You climb again. The path threads a set of stones arranged as if by courteous accident. A handspan here, a forearm there, and then a long, smooth slab where the foot glides rather than steps. Your rhythm changes, short, sure, long, sure, until the sequence becomes invisible and only the going remains. The mountain has removed nearly all of your thoughts and replaced them with attention. The forest pauses once more to let you admire the sky. The stars have multiplied while you weren't looking, and the moon has lowered a little, though its light seems deeper, more settled. A faint cloud crosses the face, a veil, not a curtain, then dissolves. You imagine the night practicing the art of mildness. There is a bench of stone against a ledge, perfect in height, blanketed with needle that smell of warm tea when crushed. You sit, lean back, feel the cold pass through your jacket and become comfort rather than warning. Your pulse in your wrist steadies to the tempo of drip, hush, breeze. You do not count, you do not measure. You repeat nothing to yourself except the single permission the mountain gives. Stay. When you rise slower, as if the bench has taught you a different gravity. The path tilts toward a notch where two ridges will soon meet. You can hear wind there, a language of soft pressure and release. Between here and that notch, the world gathers in ever finer details. A feather caught on a twig, its barbs zipped shut. A constellation of mica shards that shows a small galaxy near your boot. A spider's line drawn daringly from a fern to a root that no human would choose, but that has clearly worked long enough to matter. The notch arrives. Air moves through it with purpose. It smells like stone kept in shade, like water kept in a memory. You stand in the passage and let the wind wash the sweat from your temples. You do not chase coolness, you let it find you. Beyond the notch, the trail loosens its curve and brightens with open sky. The forest is still with you, but it has stopped insisting on closeness. You feel tall without standing taller. Below, you hear the brook one last time, smaller now, as if distance has taught it humility. Above, a single star seems larger than the others, though you know that cannot be true. You decide to pretend it is. Pretending in a place like this is not deceit. It is collaboration with wonder. The ground eases. The ascent pauses. You look back along the thread you have woven through the trees and stones. There is no line to see, no mark to trace. Yet you know the path holds your passing the way a page holds a letter after the ink has dried, quietly, without the need for applause. You step forward again, and the mountain answers in its only language. Stillness that includes you. The night warms slightly against your face, though the air remains cool. The trail vows nothing and keeps everything. You accept. You move. You arrive, though the place you reach is simply the next place to begin. And the ascent, unhurried and exact, continues, as if it were always meant to carry you, and you were always meant to be carried. The climb grows steeper. Soil gives way to stone, and the trees that once crowded close now stand farther apart. The air is sharper. It carries the clean bite of rock cooled by moonlight, and the faint perfume of pine drifting upward from the valley below. Your boots strike against rock. The sound is clear. Tap. Hush. Tap. Each note lingers before dissolving into the quiet. The trail bends and folds, curving between boulders worn smooth by centuries of wind. You brush your palm along their surfaces. They feel steady, cold, and patient. The forest thins behind you. Ahead, a ridge stretches like the back of a sleeping giant. Its narrow spine divides the night, one slope falling into shadow, the other gleaming faintly beneath the moon. You pause at the crest. The world opens wide. To one side, valleys roll away, blanketed in dark forests. Moonlight spills across them, revealing faint threads of silver streams. From this height, the brook you followed earlier is no more than a shining line. To the other side, ridges rise one after another, each darker than the last, folding into the horizon. They look like frozen waves, silent, immense, unbroken. Above, the stars blaze brighter. The higher you climb, the closer they feel. The Milky Way arcs above you, a pale river flowing from one horizon to the other. You sit at the edge of the ridge. The stone is cool beneath you, its texture rough but grounding. The wind greets you here. It rushes past your ears, brushes your sleeves, tugs gently at your collar. Not fierce, not cruel, only insistent. reminding you of the vastness that surrounds you. You close your eyes. The sound of the wind becomes a song without words. It carries the resin of pine, the cold of stone, and something weightless, freedom itself. Your chest rises slowly. Your breath steadies. Each inhale feels like new strength. Each exhale feels like release. When you open your eyes, the moon has climbed higher. Its silver lays across the ridge like a path meant only for you. You rise. Your steps are careful now. The ridge narrows, and your shadow follows close, slender and steady. You walk slowly, each footfall placed with intention. The stone does not slip. It accepts you, holds you, steadies you. At times, the ridge widens. Grass grows in tufts between the cracks. They sway lightly in the wind, their blades glinting like threads of glass. You kneel, brush your fingers across them, and feel the softness that survives even here, high above shelter. You continue. The ridge carries you forward. It feels endless, yet never tiring. Each step folds you deeper into its rhythm. You rest at a flat rise. The ground here is broad enough for you to lie back. You do. Stone beneath you. Stars above you. The sky fills your vision until nothing else exists. Constellations stretch from corner to corner. Orion stands with his bow. Cassiopeia reclines in her throne. The Pleiades cluster like a handful of sparks thrown gently across the night. You trace them slowly, not naming, not counting, only noticing. They burn steady, as though they wait for you to acknowledge them before continuing their long journeys. Far below, an owl calls once. The sound rises, circles the ridge, then fades. The silence that follows is thicker than before, as though the mountain has drawn a deeper breath. You remain still. The stone holds your body. The sky holds your mind. And the night holds everything else. Time stretches. Minutes or hours, there is no way to know. But you feel no need to measure. The ridge is timeless. The stars are timeless. For now, you are timeless too. When you rise again, your legs are steady. Your heart is quiet. You walk onward, and the ridge leads you deeper into its embrace. Every step here feels like a conversation with silence. You speak nothing, yet you are answered. And the mountain does not hurry. Neither do you. You are exactly where you need to be. The ridge bends. Its spine curves gently, revealing new slopes hidden before. Every turn opens another horizon, another dark valley, another silver rise touched by the moon. You walk slowly. The wind presses steady across your chest, not strong, not weak, just constant. It feels like a river of air, flowing without end, shaping everything, yet asking nothing. Your eyes adjust further. Shapes sharpen in the distance. Crags, jagged like teeth. Cliffs white with frost. Hollows black as ink. Each carries silence deeper than words. Each teaches patience simply by existing. The ridge narrows. You measure your steps carefully. Boot meets stone. Weight shifts. Balance holds. Nothing trembles. Nothing slips. The mountain accepts you fully. You lean into the motion. Arms open slightly, steadying without thought. The night breathes with you. Inhale. Cold. Sharp. Alive. Exhale. Warm. Quiet. Released. A flat shelf appears, wide enough to rest. You lower yourself slowly. Stone presses firm against your legs. You tilt your head, and the sky spills down. Stars cover every corner, thick as dew. You listen. The wind has thinned here, less a voice, more a presence. Your heartbeat is clear, slow, and even. It echoes gently in your ears like a drum softened by cloth. You remember the forest below, how it smelled of pine, how the brook murmured. Here there is no brook, no resin, no cover of needles. Here there is only height, and the clean taste of altitude. You rest your palm on the stone beside you. It is rough, ridged, but honest. Tiny crystals sparkle under the moon, invisible by day, revealed only now. The surface is a map of centuries. Cracks grown wide, edges softened, hollows filled with shadow. You feel yourself becoming quieter, thoughts thin like clouds drifting apart. Breath and heartbeat remain, but lighter, easier. The mountain draws you inward, not to test you, but to share its way of stillness. When you rise again, the ridge continues. It stretches forward, patient, endless. Every step carries you deeper, into silence, and the silence, in turn, carries you. The ridge begins to rise more boldly. Soil thins. Stone spreads under your steps. Every sound sharpens when your boot strikes rock. The echo is small but clear, as if the mountain answers softly. Air grows colder. It brushes your cheeks with quiet insistence. Each breath tastes clean, laced with pine drifting upward from the valley below. Your chest expands easier here, filled with space that feels endless. Trees fall back. No longer pressed close, they scatter in smaller groups. Each trunk stands alone, roots buried deep in cracks where no soil should cling. Their shadows stretch long, thin, swaying gently. The ridge opens views on either side. One slope plunges into dark forest. The crowns below look like black waves frozen mid-motion. The other slope falls to rock fields pale under moonlight. They gleam faintly, vast and silent. Moonlight paints the ridge. Silver floods every hedge, spilling into cracks, gleaming on crystals scattered in stone. Your shadow lengthens across the path, narrow and steady. It moves with you, silent, loyal. The climb slows your steps, not from fatigue, but from reverence. Each footfall feels deliberate, placed as an offering to the ground. The mountain holds each step without question. Wind rises. It does not strike. It streams across the ridge in a long river of air. It carries pine resin, dry stone, the faint trace of snow hidden high above. It hums around your ears, low and unbroken. You stop, close your eyes. Stone beneath you, wind around you, heart within you, three rhythms woven into one. For a moment, you feel like part of the ridge itself. You open your eyes. Stars blaze sharper. The Milky Way drapes overhead, a pale bridge from horizon to horizon. You count none. You only feel their presence, countless and calm. The ridge narrows. You place your steps with care. Arms open slightly, steadying without thought. The ground is firm. Stone does not shift. It accepts your balance. On the left, the valley stretches far. Tiny glints reveal streams curling through dark trees. They shimmer when moonlight finds them, vanishing when shadow folds over again. On the right, slopes tumble into bare rock, jagged and pale, shining like old bone. You continue forward, breath smooth, mind quiet. The mountain teaches stillness by simply existing. After a time, you find a shelf of stone broad enough to rest. You sit slowly. Cold presses through fabric, grounding your body, steadying your pulse. The wind eases here, replaced by deeper silence. Your ears ring faintly with the sudden absence. You tilt back. The sky consumes your vision. Orion holds his bow. Cassiopeia leans in her throne. The seven sisters cluster tight, trembling with light. Each shape feels sharper, nearer than memory allowed. You remain still. The ridge holds you like a narrow bed, high and unbroken. The stars keep their steady watch. Your breath falls into their rhythm without effort. Time slides. Minutes melt into hours, or perhaps hours into single breaths. Here there is no measure, only presence. The mountain keeps you, patient and vast. You rise again. The ridge continues forward, steady as a spine of stone carrying you higher. Moonlight flows beside you, pouring across the ground in long ribbons. Air is colder here. It slides against your face, slips down your collar, but does not bite. It feels cleansing, like water drawn from deep springs. You move carefully. Each step lands solid. The ridge is narrow, but it does not falter beneath you. Stone carries your weight as if it expected you long before. Wind gathers again. It streams along the ridge, steady, unbroken. It hums through cracks and hollows, turning stone into a flute of the night. You listen. The tone changes with each bend, low when the ridge dips, high when the ridge sharpens, always present, always calm. On your left, valleys sink deeper, shadows pool thick, hiding rivers, hiding trees, hiding movement. Yet you feel no threat, only rest folded in distance. On your right, cliffs rise, jagged and tall. Some faces shine bright with quartz, gleaming like mirrors under the moon. Others remain black, rough, swallowing light whole. You pass a cluster of standing rocks. They lean close to each other as though in silent council. You pause among them. Wind falls quiet here. The hush feels sacred, a chamber made without walls. You breathe slowly. Air fills your chest with ease. Thoughts drift lighter than smoke. You carry nothing but presence. Beyond the stones, the ridge widens. A patch of grass spreads low, dotted with small blossoms pale as frost. You kneel. Petals bend beneath your finger, soft but unbroken. Even here, life rises, tender against the cold height. You stay a while. Stars wheel overhead. The moon leans lower, painting edges sharper, shadows longer. You lose the need to count time. When you stand again, your body feels lighter. Your stride steadies with new ease. The ridge leads you onward, guiding, never rushing. The path turns, climbing toward another crest. You reach it slowly. At the top, the world opens wide again. Every valley, every ridge, every river lies bare under starlight. You stand in the center of vastness. The silence is immense, but not empty. It holds everything. It holds you. The ridge softens as it turns into a hollow. Stone rises on both sides and the path descends in gentle steps. Air turns cooler, and the night seems to lean closer to watch. The moon hangs a little higher, and the light thickens like silver haze. A stillness settles that is not heavy but complete. At first, the sound is only a rumor. A whisper moves across the rocks and fades. Then the murmur gathers and begins to speak in a steady tone. The message is simple but clear to anyone who listens. Water is near, and it is patient. A line of silver appears and slides out from a crevice. The stream reveals itself with no need for drama. It spills into a pool no wider than a shield of moonlight. Ripples climb outward, then vanish, and the surface settles to glass. The picture is quiet, and it soothes the eyes. You kneel, and the stone is cool against your knees. Your hand dips, and the cold is sharp but friendly. The water flows through your fingers and leaves a wake of light. Drops fall back and stitch themselves into the current. The air tastes of slate and mint, and the faint sweetness of moss. Around the pool, a kingdom of moss glows with dark green fire. Lichens draw pale maps across the rock in circles that never hurry. Tiny flowers boo to a breeze that is more breath than wind. The scent is a soft sweetness that belongs to shadows. The scene feels private, yet generous. as if it has been waiting. The stream does not lie still, and a path appears beside it. It climbs, and it falls, and it threads between stones as if it knows the way. A chain of flat stones offers steps that are shaped by time. Lightning bugs flash once and then decide to be stars again. Your stride becomes easy, and the world turns to rhythm. Birches lean over the water and turn their leaves to silver. The trunks are pale as lanterns, yet they burn without heat. A whisper runs through the crown and blends with the rush of water. The two sounds marry, and a cloud of peace floats above the stream. You stand in the middle of it, and you become still. A broad slab invites you, and you sit. The stone sends its coolness up and calms your pulse. The stream talks in phrases that do not need a reply. Words melt, and meaning becomes rest. Time loosens, and the night keeps your place. The current is a steady scribe, and it writes light upon light. The pool becomes a silver diary, and it turns every page with care. A ring expands and says nothing, and yet it tells all. The language is silence that remembers how to sing. Shadows watch, and the moon blesses the witness. Pebbles shine like wet coins, and then return to gray as clouds dim the beam. A moth lands on your hand, and then the air claims it again. Lightning above the mountains is only rumor, and the sky remains kind. Clouds pass, but the script of the stream is never altered. The moment is held as if a hand of light cradled it. You follow the chain of water, and the path narrows. Rock lists to one side, and a drip count seconds in a language beyond numbers. The stream squeezes through a slot and becomes foam for a breath. A new calm forms, and the vision softens, and the air cools yet again. Miles do not matter, because the world has become a circle. You step into the shallow, and your reflection dissolves, but you do not mind. A pale sky lies on the water and invites no one to change it. Stillness is not a prison, and it is a key to a larger door. The door does not need a name, and it does not exclude you. You are known, and you are allowed. The moon climbs by a measure only it remembers. Stars sharpen and then soften, and then brighten again. A presence that is not a god, but a quiet certainty surrounds the hollow. It does not speak, and yet it tells you you are safe. You accept, and you breathe, and the stream keeps its promise. Gentle power moves in the water, and it does not need to prove itself. One stone delays the current and then releases it as if telling a story. The newness of the moment is born from repetition that never tires. Shadows lay down like quiet animals, and the space breathes like a sleeper. Your mind opens spaces for mercy, and the night fills them with calm. Lightning bugs return and draw soft ellipses that fade as they glow. The birches carry a rustle that sounds like pages turned by a patient hand. The pool sends a pale language upward, and it writes on your skin as coolness. Every heartbeat slows and then stays within a valley of rest. Clouds form and drift as if they were thoughts that learned to be gentle. The current threads through pebbles and leaves a map that cannot be owned. Your breath becomes a lantern that does not shine but warms the space within. A silver chain falls from the sky, and the lightning becomes a rumor again. The air is a silk garment that the hollow has tailored for this hour. The ground accepts your weight and does not ask for proof of worth. Your mind forgets the grammar of hurry and remembers the grammar of grace. The stream whispers again, and the message is always this now. Colors are quiet yet deep, and the palette needs no painter. The mention of time is lost, and only presence remains relevant. You are part of the picture, and not a stranger to the scene. The stream keeps a rhythm that your body understands. Moss takes light and turns it into a soft language for the skin. Shadows shape the air, and the air shapes your rest. You become still, and the world becomes generous. The hollow watches, and the moon attends, and the water speaks again. The stream keeps a rhythm that your body understands. Moss takes light and turns it into a soft language for the skin. Shadows shape the air, and the air shapes your rest. You become still, and the world becomes generous. The hollow watches, and the moon attends, and the water speaks again. The stream keeps a rhythm that your body understands. Moss takes light and turns it into a soft language for the skin. Climb steadies into its last rise. Trees no longer stand here. The final trunks fell away far behind. Now only bare stone remains, pale under moonlight, shaped by wind and time. The air thins more with every step. It carries no scent of moss, no resin of pine. It tastes of nothing but clarity, like water poured through glass. Your chest expands with ease, yet each breath reminds you that you are high above all that rests below. The ground grows smooth. Slabs of granite spread wide, broken only by seams of quartz. Each seam shines like a narrow river of stars underfoot. Your boots touch them gently, and you imagine the earth stitching light into its very skin. Silence grows heavier. No brook runs here. No leaves whisper. Even the wind quiets, thinning to little more than a faint brush across your cheek. The mountain has reached its stillest voice, the voice it saves for the summit. You pause. The ridge broadens, offering space like a waiting hand. You step onto it, and the world opens in all directions. To the east, valleys fall away into folds of shadow. To the west, cliffs raise sharp, gleaming like bone washed clean. The moon hangs above them all, steady, calm, unblinking. You walk forward. The stone is cool under your soles. It does not yield, does not complain, only receives each step as though it expected it. The summit does not resist your arrival. It welcomes with silence, with space, with endless sky. You lower yourself onto a broad rock. Its surface is cold but steady. Your hands rest flat against it and feel the hardness that has endured centuries. It is not cruel. It is not warm. It is simply honest. The sky tilts close. Stars burn sharper now than anywhere else, each one a flame frozen in distance. You tilt your head back, and constellations pour into your sight. Orion stretches across the dark. Cassiopeia reclines on her throne. The seven sisters cluster tight like sparks. You name none of them. You let them be themselves, ancient and unmeasured. The Milky Way arches overhead, a pale river unbroken. It spills from one horizon to the other, carrying more light than you can imagine. You feel yourself a traveler not on stone, but adrift in its current. For a moment the summit is not beneath you but around you, and the stars are not above but within. You lie back. The rock cradles your shoulders, firm yet steady. The cold seeps through cloth and touches your skin. Instead of discomfort, it grounds you. The mountain has always been this way, unyielding yet supportive, patient yet eternal. Breath slows. Your chest rises, falls. The rhythm matches the pulse of the earth, slow and strong. You close your eyes, and the summit keeps you without question. Time bends. It stretches, folds, disappears. You remain small yet vast, one body resting in the embrace of stone and sky, and the summit holds you without demand, without end. You remain lying on the summit stone. Cold holds you steady, but it is not harsh. It is clear, exact, a presence without weight. The air folds gently around your face, cool silk moving slow. Above, the stars continue their endless watch. A sense of height deepens. Not the fear of falling, but the wonder of floating. The mountain has lifted you so high that the earth below feels like a dream already fading. Rivers gleam faint, valleys blur dark, villages glow like embers. You are not far from them. You are simply held elsewhere, in the hands of night. Wind stirs again, not sharp, not loud. It moves across the summit like a tide. It brushes your chest with every rise, folds around your arms, touches your hair as though smoothing it. Its voice is lower than before, almost like a chant. You close your eyes. The sound remains. The stone beneath you is steady, older than memory. The sky above is endless, older still. Between them, you breathe, younger, brief, but accepted without question. Thoughts come and go. They arrive sharp, then dissolve. The mountain keeps no record of them. It lets them fade like mist. What remains is only breath, only heartbeat, only stillness. You open your eyes once more. The Milky Way has shifted, though you cannot measure how. The moon lowers, casting longer shadows, silver stretched thin. Yet the stars still blaze. Their presence is enough to make the summit glow even without the moon. You sit slowly. The air slips colder against your back, reminding you that night moves forward even here. But time does not rush you. The mountain allows you to linger. No one asks you to leave. Your gaze drifts down. The valleys lie deep, folded into silence. The streams you followed gleam faint as lines of mercury. The brook that once sang to you is now too far to hear, but its memory moves inside you still. You carry its rhythm even here. You rise and walk toward the edge. Your steps echo soft across stone. No soil muffles them, no roots tangle them. Each sound is clear, each sound belongs. At the edge you pause and the world falls away. Shadows stretch for miles. Some peaks stand dark, their crowns lost in star sheen. Others shine faint, polished by frost. The horizon is a black line kissed with silver. The night is not empty, it is full. You breathe again. The inhale tastes sharper now, filled with stone, sky, and starlight. The exhale leaves you lighter, steadier, calmer. Your shoulders ease, your spine softens, your heart rests. You belong entirely to this stillness. You return to your stone seat. Lie back once more. The mountain cradles you. The stars crown you. The silence closes around you like a cloak. Minutes pass. Or perhaps they do not. Time is not here. Only presence. Only peace. Your eyes slip shut. Sleep hovers near. Not sudden, not forced. It arrives like mist. Covers it gently, evenly, until there is no edge between you and the mountain. You drift inward, safe and slow. The summit remains. The stone remembers. The stars endure. The night continues. And you rest. The path is behind you now. The climb, the brook, the ridge, the stream, the summit, all folded into memory. Each remains inside, carried not as burden, but as gentle weight. They are companions now, walking with you even in silence. The mountain never asked for thanks. It gave only what it has always given: stone, air, sky, and stillness. You came as a traveler. You leave as a part of its story. The difference is small, yet it matters. The summit cradled you in silence. The stars crowned you in light. The wind moved through you and showed you how to rest. Every detail remains like a seed. Every seed will open when you need it. You close your eyes once more. The memory of cold stone steadies you. The memory of clean air clears you. The memory of endless sky frees you. You are safe, held between them all. Thoughts loosen, drop, fade. They fall like leaves across a plain of water. Ripples widen once and then vanish. Only calm remains, deeper than before. The night leans close. It carries you inward. It asks nothing. It hurries nothing. It gives only quiet. The mountain keeps its vigil, and the stars keep their vigil. The night itself keeps its vigil, and you surrender gently, not falling, not breaking, only resting. Sleep gathers around you. It settles across your chest, across your hands, across your face. It wraps you in stillness. It folds you into the same patience the mountain has known forever. And so you drift into rest, into dream, into silence that is kind, into night that will keep you safe until morning.